Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here, and it's officially here, the actual announcement for the replacement of a Sentai series next year, and it's CD Projekt Red, the developers of Cyberpunk 2077, so it's going to be replaced by a live loop of Keanu Reeves in that game. No, I'm just kidding, but they have announced in the absolute most clear and concise way what will be replacing Sentai next year, but also Sentai's name is still there, seemingly in name only, very confusing. It's called Project Red. I don't know what the Universe Heroes thing was. Is that still going to be a thing? Was that a working title? Was that a mistranslation by that distributor? I don't know. But it says here on Toei's side, it says we have a brand new special effects hero series, Project Red, will launch within the Super Sentai series. That's like being like, guys, guess what? The new Superman is Batman, because this really doesn't have anything to do with Sentai. I mean, they crossed over, but so did Ryder. But anyway, a beloved franchise that's been running for 50 years, since 1975. Named after the English translation of Cho Jigen Iyutan, Project Red is a special effects video series featuring a red hero. The series is planned to develop in many different ways, including crossovers with upcoming works, of course, with crossovers, adding depth to each of their respective worlds. The 50-year history will reach new heights in 2026, and you witness the birth of a new legend. The first series under Project Red is going to be the commemorative work of Super Space Sheriff Gavan Infinity, a new series that inherits the innovative spirit of the previous hero while building a worldview from scratch. Talks a little bit about like what Gavin was, and that the new series, the new Space Sheriff series, is going to be a completely different story. It's a completely new Gavin, built from the ground up using cutting-edge visual expression and production techniques. The future that people held in the 80s with AI, space exploration, and space battles is now a reality. Space battles. Space business. I'm like, space battles? Are we having space battles and I missed it? A new Gavin is born thanks to visual expression and story that resonates with viewers, made possible by the rapid advances in technology today. And obviously, I've probably shown it. Future Me's probably put up the picture. It might even just be up the whole time right now. Is this little teaser that looks, honestly, it looks like, it reminds me of teaser posters for like fan projects from like a fan Power Rangers film. Looks like a little teaser with just his arm and chest, and you see like the metallic visuals. Furthermore, as this is the first series centered around the theme of red heroes that Project Red has set, the course of the main hero, Gavin Infinity, also wears a metallic combat suit, which we see in the picture, which I'll probably just leave up and then do other visuals. What has been revealed at this time is the cool visual we see here, and wait for further updates, basically. So, what a crazy roller coaster this has been in terms of like all the different names, Universe Heroes, Universe Warriors, it's Metal Heroes, it's something new, and what we got is kind of a hodgepodge. I do have to say the name Project Red, even though it immediately made me think of the video game stuff, sounds cooler than Universe Heroes in my opinion, and it definitely maybe gives some clues about what they're doing. I do have to say, I find the marketing around this to be needlessly confusing. Like, I think the idea of starting like Project Red, and the idea is for the first few years we might have main red heroes. Okay, cool, you're announcing an initiative, and then you have it, the first series is going to be Gavin with the super ridiculously long title, but then you're still saying, oh, this is under the Super Sentai brand. It's like, I feel like it would be cleaner to say that you will have Sentai-like heroes in the future, or their spirit will continue, instead of being like, launching under this series is this completely new thing. So it's like, Super Sentai presents, Project Red presents Super Space Sheriff Gavan Infinity. Now, I would imagine that means we probably, or at least I would think, we probably won't see a traditional Sentai series, I don't know, maybe ever again, but, you know, anytime soon. Like, I can't imagine, unless this absolutely bombs or something, that they would immediately go back to a regular Sentai next year, especially with all this language about like the red heroes and stuff. I kind of imagine we might see a couple years of like metal hero-y characters, whether it's like reboots or reimagining of existing metal heroes, but under this red branding, or new heroes, or both. And then eventually we might get one that's more Sentai leaning. I'm curious if they will all be solo series though, or something like that. Like, I imagine, I'd be shocked if this series doesn't have another metal hero or something in it. Like, I can't imagine with merchandising that they would do that. But you know what I mean? Like, I think with this vibe, I almost wonder if, let's say, 3 or 4 series from now, we get a quote-unquote Sentai where the suit looks like a traditional Ranger. I think that might look different. Like, it might be like maybe 1 or 2 guys or something, and it might just be a Red Ranger. Like, maybe there was some credence to the rumor that they were experimenting with the Universe Heroes, like all focusing on red. I mean, we kind of saw the preamble to this with the Gokai changes, you know what I mean, in Gojuju only being red. And that makes sense because red's only the most popular. But this is kind of interesting. I personally do kind of wish that there was just marketed as something new, and like Sentai would take a break for a while, mainly because I think it's confusing, but it'll be dependent on what they say in the future about like what Sentai is going to happen. Like if they're trying to have a new fresh start and have something familiar, fresh, I mean, I'm really worried that this is going to have a bunch of cameos of old Sentai characters too. Like not characters, but the suits. Like the idea of this new Gavin show is actually kind of appealing to me. Like I've never been a huge Gavin fan. I wasn't sure if I'm going to watch it, but I'll probably check this out and see if I like it. But, you know, I'm trying to be more open to those anniversary elements. Like Go Jujer, it's not the anniversary elements that have annoyed me, it's the show itself. So, like, I am more open to, like, accepting it on its own terms and having fun with it. But I just find it kind of depressing if we would have this really cool new revival and then all of a sudden you have a bunch of old has-been red empty suits running around again right away. Like if they want to do like this interconnected crossover thing and have these movies where these new Project Red characters meet each other and meet old Sentai, sure. But I wouldn't immediately start the show off like that. Like that would be crazy. And especially, you know, also you have this focus on Red because we all know Red is the most popular. That's been known since the beginning of Sentai pretty much. And he always gets all the upgrades and all that stuff and all the focus. Like even in Go Jujer right now, when the characters have a focus episode, we have to have Horu piloting the mecha in their focus episode, even though he's not even wearing the red costume. So it's like a safety net of like, this is the most popular. And this, even though it sounds like a cool new idea in a way, also feels like that thing I've talked about in Sentai before where it's like really sad that like these little things they can't afford to do because we know it's a toy commercial, obviously. It's just basically a glorified toy commercial. But it's really sad that the show often can't pivot out of these little things. Like I said, little details like you can't let like Ryugi pilot the mecha in his focus episode. Like that's not going to be like, oh, that's going to tank the toy sales, or for how long we couldn't do a gold or silver ranger. Even then, like, we started incorporating gold into Red's power-up. It's like these little things that it's, like, really sad that you can't take these small little risks or it'll tank your toy sales. And, like, that's kind of what this feels like to me. Not at large. Like, I think the idea of this has some cool aspects to it, but the idea of it basically only being Red Rangers, essentially, is like the ultimate in like, okay, we have to just cut everything out except the most marketable, which is the Red Ranger or whatever this is, you know, Space Sheriff. So that's kind of what that feels like. It feels like they're trying to make something new a little bit, not wanting to fully let go of Sentai because it's so established and just kind of honing in on a few of the things that have been working. I'll be curious when we get the official announcement how much they'll reveal about the future, like saying like, oh, a traditional Sentai will absolutely be back, or it's changing form forever. Like, because we're trimming this down, I would be shocked if like in 2 years, even 3 years, we would get another traditional Sentai. Like, I imagine it'll look quite different even if we lean on the Ranger thing. So I'll be curious to see exactly what the language is in their announcement. Like right now, I think that the marketing just seems a little bit busy, like having all these titles and then also keeping the Super Sentai name around there, even though, again, I know Gavin's crossed over with Sentai, but it just seems weird. Like, what a weird time. And I'll be so curious to see where this ultimately goes. I will obviously keep you guys updated as we go along. Like, it's getting pretty close. Like, if I recall, around Black Friday time, early December is when we got our scans. So I can't imagine it'll be too long before we get our first scans and look. And then, of course, ultimately, eventually the press conference. Like I said, they did talk about the connected stuff. I just really hope that they don't go in on that immediately. Like, it would feel really awful if you have this new show with this new hero and you're immediately getting old Sentai Reds in this new thing. Like, just how sad would that be if all they have is, hey, Red Rangers and past cameos? But yeah, maybe it'll feel more clear once we get the press conference and announcement. Like, it's not like I'm necessarily confused by it. I just think the message feels mixed. Because I saw multiple translation. One of them was like, a new series that stands apart from Sentai and Rider. And they're like, no, under the banner of Super Sentai is this totally separate thing. So anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comments as always. Till next time, Dawson Rider, signing out.